Hello, everyone. This is Marita, one who catches lightning, with the Path of Ish podcast, Walking with Our Shadow, where we share ancient indigenous teachings of remembrance, all so we can walk and learn how to walk a path of radical self-love. Hello, everyone. This is Marita, one who catches lightning, with the Path of Ish. It is with deep gratitude that we allow ourselves possibility. And one of those possibilities that we are allowing ourselves today is the grace to step into the circle of community. By acknowledging community, it allows and reminds us and acknowledges that we are part of a greater all or whole. And if you've done your work in the circle, you can recognize that the circle holds all. All of who you are, have been, and are becoming. And so let us set this circle and let us call in the directions. And please feel free to bring your alliances, right? Those who come with good intentions. Those who want to be seen and witnessed. Because remember, the circle reveals all. And so we take a moment to remember that the circle is not just human-centric. We don't ask human beings to hold it. We ask our alliances. By alliances, our relationships, who we have negotiated with to be an alliance. And so we turn to the east, to the rising sun, to the way that it witnesses us and shows us the opportunity of a new day. We turn to the south, as we remember how the south reminds us of that summer period of our lives. Our adolescence, at the time where we are learning, when we're gathering a lot of information, right? A time where we are planting and becoming our own being to a degree. This is the place of the student. This is the place where our bones get warm around the fire. We turn to the west, to the thunder people, to that time of storm. When the storms come in, it's the time to harvest that which we have planted, not just in our memory, but physically planted, right? The fruits and the vegetables, the nuts and the berries. So we can prepare for the period without growth outside, as we're called inside as we walk over to the north. A place of bones, of seeds and stones. A place where our ancestors told us the stories and passed on the stories of how to plant and how to harvest, and who we were as beings upon this planet. And one of these stories that was told all the time around many circles and many indigenous people is the story that we are just one. We are not here as humans because the earth is ours or to have dominion over it. We are here to learn our lessons And the earth belongs to the waters and to the creatures and to the oceans and to the lakes and to the mountains and to the volcanoes and all the other animals. We are just here to be a steward, to be in good relationship. That means we come to learn. And so to be able to learn, we must keep the lesson alive by keeping Mother Earth alive, not adding to the harm on this planet or the destruction. And so we come back down to the east as we ask to enter. And as we enter, just take that moment, take your 3 breaths, right? Just pause. That sacred pause. In and out through your nose, and really welcome your mind into this time and place now to walk into circleness. In and out through the nose, bring your body into this time and place to walk into circleness. In and out through the nose, and bring your essence and invite it here into this time, into this place, and to walk into circleness. And as we walk in, we ask for the root, the collective root that we have earned, we have worked for. We have been in good relationship with Mother Earth, and therefore, based on that relationship, we are given the root. We're not given more than what we have earned. Remember, this is not about lassoing into the center of the earth. It's not yours. Ask permission for a being to be in their sovereignty by recognizing the sovereignty of this planet and its consciousness as it is growing and learning its own lessons. And right now, what lessons it's learning. And as you receive that root, which is collective, based on everyone here speaking and listening and walking into the circle, no matter what time that you come to this circle, you add to it your relation, your story of walking with this planet. And as we remember the earth below us, we so look up to the sky, knowing it is still part of this planet. So our sky root and our earth root recognize the sovereignty of this planet as a being and places us as just little beings in the cosmos. We are just grains of sand. And what a gift that is. I have been watching the show American Gods, which are based on a series of books. And I tell my students, my official students, specifically my mentors, to go watch the series and read the books, because I think it's a great example of a mega story being told with all of the myths of different people, right? Norse myths and traditions, Native American, of Turtle Island traditions. The Orishas come in as well. So happy about that in the show, not in the books as much. So we have a pantheon of many traditions coming in, Slavic traditions, right, as well. And the idea of gods and the idea of, Egyptian, of course. Egypt is, of course, represented in that. And how we create gods and keep them alive. And in this watching, yes, I watch Netflix and Amazon Prime. I come from, I'm a film major back in the day. So it's homework. And in this scene, where the scene I think takes place in a mortuary with the gods who walk us to our death, depending on your pantheon or belief. And they said humans are dead longer than they're alive. And it struck me. I had a little grief of that, over that, right? Grief, because I wanted to I want to hold on to life. But as I let it come into my circle, it opened up that door of opportunity to really look at life as circular, not just as the Western idea of you live, you die, a very straight line, very quote unquote straightforward, which life really isn't. Hence one of the illusions of Western consumerist colonization and its world. So if I have the courage, right, to stay curious about how I'm going to be dead longer than alive, and not hold on to preserving my life, then I need to start looking at my death in a very different way. Last week we had a conversation about loving ourselves to death, our deaths, right? Our deaths to beliefs, right? Can we let go of the stories that are not allowing us to truly show up? Truly show up in a moment. Now, I say a moment because you have to start with that, where your body, your mind, and your essence are actually together, which is, first of all, it doesn't happen all the time, and it takes a lot of work because it takes a lot of negotiation, and it takes a lot of learning who you are. And that was part of the conversation of last week, getting to know thyself truly. Now, I tried recording this podcast yesterday because I struck lightning, right? And I rushed to do it, and it just didn't work. There were too many things in the way, including the fact that Hawaii is still experiencing high winds and storms, which affects my communication with you. There is something that if you're a student of mine, or if you've seen my lives, or if you've read what I write, follow me on Instagram, TikTok, all those things. I reflect on a lot of the conversations that I've had throughout the years. And what part of that is this belief or idea. Let's say, call it an idea. Right? People freak out when you say belief. This idea, this proposition, this hypothesis that we are born amnesiacs, and this is a hypothesis, a story of many Central America people from the Olmecs. You hear it from the Maya, and you hear it from the Zapotec as well. My grandfather taught me this. My father would go over this over and over again. And the reason there's this idea that we're born amnesiacs is that we really don't know anything when we're born, right? And instead of looking at life as something to move forward in, to accomplish and to conquer, the idea is that our learning is a remembering. And part of the learning, which is about remembering, is remembering why we are here, why we came here, what is our mission, and who we are. And this isn't just about what planet are you really from? What should the discipline of your life be? Or who you are as the Western definition of who you are is what you do. But really in your nature, your capacity and your capabilities to learn lessons and to learn the lesson of your life. Because you are your destiny. After I'd heard this story or idea told in very many different ways by many different people, it finally occurred to me a couple of years ago. I'm like, but we have to remember to forget. And the reason we have to remember to forget is that we have been trained to accumulate. Accumulation is a distraction. And we are not the only society that looks at life as an opportunity to accumulate things, including knowledge. We come in with nothing, we expect to leave with everything. And as my dear friend Coral reminds me, well, if everyone's going to just take everything, then there's going to be nothing left. What will there be left to learn from? And if we can't learn, then we cannot remember. And therefore, you will not be your destiny. You will consume the environment that has been placed here to support you and create enough of the pressure because things happen in pressure systems, right? Including diamonds. So that you can find your destiny, which is you. But instead of remembering to forget, what we do is accumulate more and more and more and more and more. To the point that nothing that we have actually has value. Because when you don't have a lot, you really value the few things that you have. When you have tons, sometimes it's overwhelming. It's just another thing. We must then, with great deep humility, right, knowing we are no greater or lesser than any other being on this planet, ask for help to learn the art of forgetting. And when I say that, all of a sudden I feel all of the, memes and stories that people are saying, well, I'll forgive them, but I'm not going to forget. We're talking about different things here. I'm not asking you to not protect yourself, right? That's why people don't want to forget. They don't want to get into a situation again, or they've been duped or bamboozled or hurt, right? We want to avoid discomfort. And so a lot of people accumulate memories of when they've been hurt to avoid discomfort. And we have to do that. There is a survival to this, right? You eat something, it does not agree with you. You should probably never eat it again, right? Possibly. If you had a very bad reaction to it. And so there's a simple way of also saying, hey, don't forget, because it could be your life. But this is about something else. And this is about recognizing the society, or let's call it matrix, that in its own ecosystem, in its attempt to stay alive, will do anything, say anything, and do anything to keep you in that reality. Because you give it juice. If you don't believe, the gods die. If you don't give energy to something, it loses its power. So that's why we have to remember to consciously forget. To approach our life with a curiosity that allows us to ask many questions. And in that journey of asking the questions, you realize that you have either the opportunity to hoard or to let go. There comes times that when you want to create a new reality, a new way of living in this world, you have to let go of your past. A simple example is humans' addiction to sugar, right? If you want to start seeing that is affecting your health, including your mental health, then maybe for you to live a better life, you need to start detoxing from sugar. Very simple example, right? Yet many times what we try to do is live that quote unquote new life in the old way, in our old habits that are destroying us. And because we are so used to accumulating, hoarding. Oh my God, someone just died. Give me 1 second. Come back to the circle to close it. This will be a shorter podcast because we just had someone in the family pass. That's why I rushed out. As I said earlier, we are dead more than we are alive. And as we prepare, it's definitely a different podcast than I had planned yesterday to record. And as we now, in the situation that we have in our family, will be sitting here remembering. As we mourn. As we walk, sing, pray, dance. With someone over the Rainbow Bridge. We remember that in death we are closer to remembering. And we hope that by the time that death comes for us, we have done a good job, work, practice. We have honed the craft of the art of forgetting, of letting go from the distractions and the energy that is trying to pull us from truly being uniquely who we are. From recognizing and remembering that our purpose is not an accumulation of things. But this life is an opportunity to swim through, wade through all of the stories and belief systems. To not have judgment about other belief systems, judgment as in condemnation, to forget the ways that humans keep creating identities of the other. so that they feel safe and they feel better. The art of forgetting, what we have to remember to forget are the stories that make us separate. And when I speak of separation, I'm not saying a denial of your unique individuality and the process of individuation that we are all here, all beings are here to experience. I'm not saying we all have to be the same. I'm saying when we recognize the universe inside of us and the magnificence, then hopefully we can recognize the universe in a creature, a lake, a river, a stream, an ocean, the leaves on the tree, my cats, all of beings here on this planet, so unique that we allow them to be unique, uniquely different. Because it's in that difference that we become the all. It's not in our sameness. Everyone's saying, oh, we're all the same. No, we are uniquely different. We are same in the sense that the consciousness of creation runs through us. We have the opportunity to create, to destroy in the same ways. We are extensions of a consciousness that is trying to learn and therefore reflects itself over and over and over and over again as uniquely as it can in the creation of all the beings through all time, all space. We are the question. And what we have to forget is everything that distracts us from that and keeps us from that. To not give it all the energy that we do. The art of forgetting will not save you from loss and pain and from the uncomfort of this world. As my Buddhist friends say, suffering is just part of this planet. It's our non-attachment to how that defines us that is part of the lesson. And so today we're just going to have some silence. Let's first say some silence up to this person who has passed, for James. And for what has been left behind and what has moved forward. And in this silence, let us bring our forgetting and our remembering. We'll hold this silence for about a minute and a half. And if you need to hold that silence longer, please pause and come back. And as this time comes to a close, I want to thank all of you who have been following and listening. Thank you for all the emails and the texts that I get. And based on your feedback, I have started a new Patreon for the show. And please go on over and find ways that you can support this podcast so we can keep it going. There's opportunities to join other circles, but there's also opportunities to just donate a little bit on a monthly basis, what you can. And thank you for those who have supported me in putting this ask forward and bringing this to the circle. We are a community. And of course, portions of that will always go back to the land and to the elders who have supported me on my path and my walk. And as we close this circle, we remember that in the art of forgetting, we are actually remembering who we are. We're not forgetting ourselves or leaving ourselves behind. We're leaving the conditioning behind. We're leaving that which does not serve us, but is serving another greater purpose of distraction. For everything on this planet is hungry, and we must choose wisely what we feed, so we ourselves are nurtured. As we give gratitude to the question, gratitude to the east, the south, the west, and the north, the gardens above, below on this plane. To the ancestors, To those who are walking over the rainbow bridge today, and for those who have been left still on this planet and dimension, may we remember these beings, these grains of sand. As we stand witness to lives, may we let go of the grip of having it all figured out, having it all perfect, or any other conditions out there that are running your life. James lived his life. Unapologetically. May we do so the same. Today. Once again, it is with deepest gratitude that I bow to you for joining me on this podcast, this episode, this circle, this plática, this meditation, this remembering. I hope that you have stayed curious. I hope to see you in the circle again next week. So make sure that you like or follow. Until then, may you be blessed with abundance of peace and radical self-love.